I believe it was back in September when I said to Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times, we're probably going to know in November just how good this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is. Well, it's late November, Rick. I don't know if we know how good this Tampa Bay team is. Thanks for joining us. Where do you think they stand in the pantheon of NFC teams right now?
They're the masters of meh. They're just not very good. They're average or a little bit above. Look, they've played some tough teams, right? The last couple of weeks. I mean, they had a couple of 3-point games against the Rams and then the Chiefs, and they just haven't started games well. I think they've been outscored like 49-7 in the first quarter of their last 4 games. And when you start games like that, when you don't convert third downs, I mean, yesterday they had 1 conversion in the first 4 series, and they've added so many pieces. Dan, Antonio Brown. There was this blitz early in the game where you can see, Brown just goes out and he doesn't recognize the blitz. And Brady's yelling. It's like Vince Vaughn in The Wedding Crashers. Hot route, hot route. It's like, I don't know what you mean. What's a hot route? So it's just been kind of grab bag like that. And they've got a bye week. They need it, and they got to get it together.
But you have more questions about the offense or defense?
I got more questions about the offense because I think they go hand in hand. I think when and look, we can get into Todd Bowles' brilliant scheme of trying to cover Tyreek Hill one-on-one, which, hey,
wow,
I haven't watched a lot of football, but I know I wouldn't try that.
Wow.
And I wouldn't let it go, guy do 200 yards in the first quarter. But I really do think that it's, when you're playing a team that can score like Kansas City, or for that matter, like the Rams, you have to make first downs. You can't hang those guys out to dry. And in both games, they made adjustments on defense and allowed them with some turnovers to get back in those games. So it's really complimentary football, and the offense isn't complimenting anybody right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this team out. And when I saw Tyreek Hill get loose, and I go, okay, they're going to shore that up. And then he got loose again. And then he got loose again, and then again. And I go, am I the only guy here saying maybe not single coverage, man-to-man, that maybe we should have 2 guys on him? Or how about our center fielder is so deep that there's no chance he could get behind him? Did they figure out how to maybe Tyreek Hill was too tired after the first quarter, but did they figure out a little bit more of a game plan on what to do against Kansas City? Should they meet again?
I hope so. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, when you talk to them, they were, believe it or not, a little more concerned with Travis Kelce. So when they were playing single high, he was shading towards the tight end. That's just a bad plan. And I don't know why they didn't adjust sooner. The first play is a 34-yard completion that nobody covered him. So how you hide the fastest guy in the NFL, I don't know. I felt sorry for Carlton Davis. Look, Todd Bowles has done some good things this year. That wasn't one of them for sure. But then they dialed up some pressure, I think, on Mahomes. Man, that guy's great, though. Even when you get there, he just keeps backing up, and he throws the ball 25 yards on a dime, and it's just impressive to watch. So they definitely need a better game plan against the Chiefs if they were to see him. But then they'd be happy to see him because it would be the Super Bowl, right?
Okay, I think that I'm going to play this Patrick Mahomes bite. And you were there, but just to let the fans hear this, I thought Patrick Mahomes did a site survey of the Super Bowl. You go down there just in case you're going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Here's Patrick Mahomes on getting familiar with Tampa.
You get a familiarity with the stadium, with the process of going to the hotel and the city, and that's definitely something that eases your mind when you try to get to the Super Bowl. If you've been in this place before and you understand what kind of the pregame and stuff like that happens, and then to beat a good football team. That's a really good football team with a lot of talented players. That's a great thing about football and the NFL is you build and try to execute and be the best at the end of the season.
What? It was like they did a walkthrough and they won an NFL game.
He is so going back. he knows he's going back. And, he probably did scout out the restaurants while he was here. Wow. I did see him come out earlier than I've seen most quarterbacks. Now, maybe this is his routine. Brady gets to the stadium about 4.5 hours before the game and walks around in his street clothes. But Mahomes did survey the field. I mean, he went end to end with really very little players out there. And
he did that during the game too, Rick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Up and down.
If I said to you, Tampa now or the Saints with Taysom Hill, who do you like?
Oh, Tampa. Well, wow, that's a good one. It's hard to beat Sean Payton and Taysom Hill. I think by the end of the season, the Bucs may get it together, especially these last 4 weeks. So But right now, you'd have to take the Saints, right? They're a better team than the Bucs. I mean, they beat them twice convincingly. I know they had Drew Brees in one, but I guess I would go Saints. And look, 2020 continuity, Dan. I mean, look at the teams that are winning, right? Teams that have coach and quarterback for the most part, or systems that have been together, whether it's the AFC, the NFC. I don't think that's a surprise. And I think, with Brady, I heard you talk to Peter King earlier. He's right. He wants that time to be with his guys, and he just hasn't been. And now they've added some more pieces.
Is everything okay, though, with Brady and Bruce Arians? I mean, Brady knew what he was getting himself into, but did he really know what he was getting himself into?
Well, win or lose, we booze, man. I mean, it's like I think he knew. He had to have talked to Peyton Manning and those guys. I know everybody asks me every time Bruce Arians calls him out, how can you do this to Tom Brady? And I would just say that, if Brady didn't know that, then he did no research. I mean, and I think there's a part of Brady, not that he likes to have to field questions from us about it, but that, he wants the other guys on his team to see that he's being held as accountable as everybody else. I mean, that's big for Tom. Tom wants to assimilate into the team. So I know that apparently Tony Romo was all over Arians' offense. I'm not naive to think that, I agree with you. They probably had a discussion. And there is a desire of Tom for them to move closer to what he wants to do. But in Bruce's offense, Tom's getting hit a lot, and nobody likes to get hit because he gets so many guys out. They're going to have to make some adjustments with protection, because when he has it, he's very, very good.
He's Rick Stroud. He covers the Buccaneers, covers the NFL, Tampa Bay Times writer. I'm looking at this Steeler-Ravens situation, and I don't know what else can they do? They canceled the Ravens practice this morning. They got snow in the forecast tomorrow in Pittsburgh. They're not sure about traveling. They got a depleted roster there. Feels like the NFL is somehow, some way going to get this game in, but should they?
Well, I mean, we just saw them play a game with no quarterbacks. I mean, they really, it seems to me like the NFL's whole goal is play the season. We don't care. We don't want to miss any games if we can avoid that. And we'll see who shows up in Tampa. I mean, I really believe that. I don't think they mind. They've warned these teams it's going to happen. We're waiting for the first cancellation. Maybe this is it. I mean, this game was supposed to be played almost a week ago. But COVID is a problem, so much so that Bruce Arians really is concerned. The one message he left his team with after the game was, hey, forget about everything else. Don't let the virus beat us, because these teams come off of bye weeks, and very often that's usually what starts to spread.
Yeah, and I wonder if the NFL really wants to get a team's attention, it's not fining a team $500,000 and taking away a seventh-round draft pick. When you forfeit a game and you lose a paycheck, now all of a sudden people realize, oh my gosh, there's a whole lot at stake here. But in the interim, it just feels like, we're going to plow through it somehow, some way.
Well, and I don't know, what the TV contract says and whether you're giving money back to the networks if you cancel the game or not. But I imagine there's some financial stake there. So yeah, they're going to play. Look, we've seen the league play with scab players before, and they played with, this league has a history of just playing games. So I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, at some point, you wonder just how much watered down is the product going to be.
And you get a bye week for the Buccaneers, so everybody gets to talk about this loss. It feels like it's going to be two losses after everybody gets through dissecting what went wrong.
Yeah, it really will. And there'll be more heat out up on Bruce Arians. But the fact is that they've got the Vikings, who, if they beat Jacksonville, could put themselves back in it, winning 5 out of 6. But then it's Atlanta twice. Raheem Morris has done a good job there. And then they got Detroit. So those are 4 games, Dan, that they should be favored in. The Vikings is at home. If they win 3 out of 4, they're going to make the playoffs. Right now, they're still, I think, the 6th seed. They would probably go to Green Bay, which they've beaten, which would be a nice climate for them. But look, if we thought they were going to run the table and be the number 1 seed in the NFC, we were kidding ourselves. I still think there's a lot for them to play for, and I'm not giving up. I don't think anybody should give up on Tom Brady just yet.
Great to talk to you again, Rick. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Rick Stroud, covers the NFL, Tampa Bay Times writer.